Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for this episode, I want to bring up a requirement from the accounts payable team. So basically what happens is for this company, we have multiple purchase orders attached to the single vendor. However, the accounts payable team, they just received one single invoice, including multiple purchase orders. So now the question is how in Dynamics we can handle multiple purchase orders attached to one single invoice, because normally one PO is mapped to one invoice. So in this video, we're going to see how to use that consolidation feature. By the way, if you love the content, if you find it helpful, please feel free to like, comment, and let me know your thoughts. And that will really help me to move forward with more valuable videos. And looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Okay, so back to our topic. Now for our accounts payable team, normally they will use this accounts payable module and then find all the purchase orders in a status of received but not invoiced. So basically I clicked here and then that brings me to all the purchase orders ready for me to invoice, right? And then from this list, you can see we have multiple purchase orders for this hardware company. And then let's just use this as an example. So for this vendor, I have 3 purchase orders attached to it. Now, I just received a single invoice including all those 3 purchase orders. So in order to invoice all together, I'm going to use the consolidate feature. So basically, just to start with, you're going to follow the normal enter invoice and then generate this invoice. And let's give a minute. So from here, you're going to see the difference. You can also use the filter function to filter by vendor. And then from there, you can mark all the available purchase orders. All right, so now you can see that the system have consolidated those 3. And now I need to give invoice number. Since I have only one invoice, so that's going to be one single number. So I'm going to put inv 0613, and then same for all the other lines. I'll just copy paste here. So a couple of things to highlight here. First, invoice number we need to fill in, and then to the right side, this date is your invoice date, and you have this matching status if you have the 3-way matching turned on. At the same time, if you need to have additional dates as what you have normally on an invoice screen, what you can do is to right click and insert columns. For example, I want to check the due date and invoice received date. Then I can use this feature to add additional columns. So filter by dates. So now I have this invoice date, and then I can continue. See if we have invoice received date. So there are a lot of dates here. Okay, here I find this calculated due date. I can check this. And then you also have invoice received date. So let's say I want to keep those 2 fields available. Now if I scroll to the right, you can check the invoice received date. And then based on the terms of payment, the system is going to calculate the due date. So in my case, normally you don't need to fill it in, but let's say if I want to put 13th of July, then I can copy paste to other lines. Now, next step, if you have this match status enabled automatically, then normally the status is going to be updated. But in my case, I need to manually click here, update match status, right? And then now I have this notification and saying now you see the match status changed to passed. So now we get into that consolidation process once you have filled in all the information. On the top, you have this consolidated invoices option, and then summary updates. Basically, here is where you define how the system should consolidate your invoices. You can group your invoices by invoice account. So if that's the same vendor account with the same invoice account, then you can select this summary by invoice account. And if you want to include the pending invoices, then just leave this on. But in my case, I don't want to consider any pending invoices, so I'll turn it off. And now I can do consolidate. Okay, so now what happens is you see we only have one single invoice line. but under purchase order, you see multiple purchase order have been added, right? Same for product receipt. And then from here, you can check the totals. So that should match the total of all 3 purchase orders amount, right? And if you need to round off any tax calculation amount or some rounding differences, then you can also use this round off field to fill in that difference. So now I'm going to close it. Match status not performed. So I'm going to do this again. So now it's passed again. So from here, very straightforward, I'll be able to post my invoice. And once this operation is done, we can check each PO line. The status should be changing to invoiced instead of received. Let's just give a second. All right, so now when it's done, you can see we can no longer find our vendors with the POs because currently we're under purchase order received but not invoiced. Once it's invoiced, you can no longer find it from the screen, right? But now you may have the question, how can I know what are the purchase orders mapped to this single invoice? Well, in that case, you can go back to accounts payable and then in your invoice section, you can find all the available invoices not paid yet from the screen. Open vendor invoices. All right, now I can continue to scroll down and find our invoice, but if you have the number, we can also filter here or filter by the vendor account. So the last one, that's what we just created with the day's date and for hardware components. And the due date is also recorded correctly. So if I scroll to the right, what do you see this amount? That's the total, including those 3 purchase orders. And now to see details, you can go on the top, transactions. All right, so that's our single invoice. And then you can also go find original document. From here, that's where we can find the 3 purchase orders mapped to the single invoice. And you also have the purchase order number, description, total amount. So that's an easy way to find out what the single invoice includes. All right, that's fairly a simple process. It's just sometimes we might not consider the scenario, or maybe just after go live, the client realize, oh, actually, how are we going to handle this situation? So I hope this video is helpful, and feel free to comment and let me know your thoughts. Thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next episode.